welcome to the Cigna Check-In, a series based on the findings of the ongoing Cigna COVID-19 Impact Study. This is a study we created at the beginning of the pandemic as an extension of Cigna's annual 360 Wellbeing Survey to research the impact of COVID-19 on people's well-being around the world. Here, we will deep dive into the triggers of stress, where they may come from, why stress may be heightened in these unprecedented times, and most importantly, to give you the tools and information you need to perform successful stress care check-ins on your employees or team members in your company. I'm Patrick Rona, Head of Brand and Thought Leadership for Cigna International Markets, and today I'm joined by Dr. Stuart Lustig, National Medical Executive for Behavioral Health at Cigna, and Michelle Leung, HR Director, Cigna International Markets. Thank you both for joining me. In this episode, we'll be talking about the opportunities and obstacles the new way of working has brought us, and how we can help our team members manage the stress of this situation. We'll tackle the topic of reintegrating back into the workplace, what it might look like, what the causes of stress may be that we need to be wary of, and how to keep your footing during the ever-shifting state of this pandemic. Finally, we'll also have a look at the always-on culture of juggling many roles or hats, the role of colleague, parent, friend, sibling, that has emerged for many employees right now, and provide tips and advice on how to navigate the fluidity of the current situation. Michelle, how do you see the shift towards the new working normal impacting the way organizations, HR directors, and leaders manage their employees? And what might need to change?
The new working normal is going to impact all areas within HR and the organization and how we actually manage our human capital. So, for example, the way that we attract, recruit, and onboard new employees are going to be different. How they go through the orientation is going to be very different. We'll be looking at a set of different leadership competencies to make sure that the leaders are equipped to manage a virtual workforce. They're then able to measure performance and contribution for a virtual workforce. And then finally, how do we think about talent deployment when travel restrictions were likely to still be in place? We will not be able to travel as freely. We will not be able to meet other colleagues in different offices as freely as we used to before. But how do we still keep the connection? How do we build our network? So these are all different challenges that we have to be, we think through and be thoughtful of.
The always-on work culture may not be new, but it is certainly heightened during these times. Dr. Lustig, how might this be affecting employees' attitudes towards working?
Well, Patrick, first of all, about half of the respondents in our survey indicated that they are working longer hours. And so it's important for managers in particular and employers to realize that employees are juggling more now than probably ever before. In addition to working longer hours, they're also dealing with family situations, caretaking obligations that they may not have typically, and just trying to get everything done in the course of the day. So what's going to be most helpful, I think, is for managers, employers to recognize the need for greater flexibility. And while people are working longer, the good news is that they are appreciative of the flexibility as well, and the opportunity to fit things into their day as best as possible. It's also going to be important to have communication with people very candidly about what's expected in a work environment, and to realize that there will probably need to be some adjustments in terms of what the deliverables are, given the extenuating circumstances that people are working under.
Michelle, as organizations reintegrate their workplaces, what will be the new adjustments that companies must make to help employees adapt?
Yeah, so first of all, I think it's really important for organizations to not assume that all employees are rushing back to work. I think some of them will still have concerns, quite rightly so, and some of them still have other personal obligations at home. So some of the typical questions that they will ask in order for them to feel comfortable returning to work are, how do I continue to observe social distancing at work? What is the seating arrangement? Will my employers supply me with masks? Will there be hand sanitizers around in the office? Will my temperature be taken as one of the usual entrance protocols? Can I still have team meetings? Can I go out? And these are very typical questions and right questions to ask.
Dr. Lustig, And can you talk a little bit more about some general tools that may be available, whether you're a Cigna member or customer or not?
Absolutely, Patrick. We have a wealth of information on our website at Cigna. Cigna has just done 2 major studies on loneliness, which is a huge topic at this point as we've all been social distancing and isolating and quarantining. And so typing in Cigna and loneliness also get to those resources. For folks who are Cigna customers, EAP, our Employee Assistance Program, has additional resources, both for managers, but also for customers as well, on a range of topics. Everything from how to get through the COVID-19 epidemic to taking care of your kids, finding childcare, finding elder care services, a whole host of material that's just right there and available. And of course, people can always call in and speak with a specialist as well.
Michelle, why is it important to check in on employees during this transition period as people are going from one mode of working to another?
Yeah, so first of all, check-in conversations should not be one-way conversations, i.e., it's not where managers have the conversation with the employees to check in how much work they've done. These check-in conversations, particularly during the transition period, are really important for managers themselves to understand what more they can do to support their team and their employees. Are there any obstacles they need to help remove? Do their employees need additional training? What other challenges they may have at home? Do they have childcare challenges, elder care challenges? And I think these conversations must be made frequently.
Dr. Lustig, what are the positive outcomes of fostering an effective check-in culture that organizations can expect?
One of the most important positive outcomes of a check-in culture is that it helps us to really stay connected with each other. It helps employees to understand that their managers care about them as people, as well as employees, and helps people not be alienated in the work environment. One of the big concerns about people being alienated either from each other or from the work that they're doing is that they're more likely to leave. They're more likely to go looking for another job. And so anything we can do to help people stay connected and feeling cared about is useful to do at this point.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. Thank you both for joining me. We know organizations face unprecedented change as we work through this current situation, and the new way that we work is bound to heighten stress in different ways for different employees. That's why as leaders and managers, we need to be ready and proactive in creating ways to control and overcome the stressors that our team members are facing. Making sure that you perform regular stress care check-ins with your colleagues, your team members, or your employees is certainly a powerful way to start. For more information on how to perform impactful stress care check-ins, find helpful tools and information, and receive the most up-to-date Cigna Insight initiatives, please visit our dedicated hub. I look forward to welcoming you back to our next episode coming soon. Thanks again.